They see you shuffle about uncomfortably. They see you blow the dust off your headphones. They see you put in like 2 cough drops at the same time.
Oh, yeah. I don't do 2 at the same time. Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know that. I should probably. Now, these shows are archived, right? So I can go back and watch them.
Yes.
So I could like live this show in real time and then go home and, when I say something to Linda like, hey, did you hear when I did this? And I don't watch it. Well, let's get in front of the TV and watch me do it again for 3 straight hours.
Yes, it's archived just like the audio podcast.
That's right.
And see, this is the thing that gets the NCAA in trouble. When it goes to court here. Is there a clock or not? Greg, we talk about the clock all the time. Mm-hmm. If he began in 2019, the clock should have run out, whether he's played the 4 years or not. And that's part of the argument because some guys go right through the clock, right? TJ Finley, we've mentioned many times on this show. 7th team coming up this year. He's playing for Incarnate Word. He's played 7 seasons at 7 different schools. Now, why hasn't his clock started? Why doesn't he have the 5-year clock? So if you're Aguilar, I get it.
He just bounced him off the ropes. Somebody save this man. Oh, my Lord. Oh. Very nice, very nice. He hit him with everything he didn't want.
Ten seconds remaining.
Going to be a direct snap here.
Snap back. It's Tyler. Tyler fakes the run. He throws. He's got an open man. Pass top 10. 5. End zone. It's a touchdown. Pulled in by Nestor. 3 seconds left.
Are you kidding me with the play call right there by Kevin Whiteman? Again, forget the game-winning field goal. Whiteman says, we're going to try and win this thing right now. The direct snap to Tyler sucked everybody up, and Nestor slips behind. What an unbelievable, gutsy play call, and then perfect execution by these Falcons.
Things aren't always going to be great. And sometimes, you can work really, really hard and it's still not great. You're still not successful. But, if you continue to do it, one way or another, things are going to be work out. You're going to be successful. And it may not be in the world's eyes, but, God's made us this way. He's blessed us with so many things. And I think 5, 3, 1.
Red 57, Red 57, hot.
I don't believe what I just saw.
Bill McKenzie kicks a 38-yard field goal on the final play of the football game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
From the home of the state's land-grant institution, inside the Health Plan Studios, in the Dale B. Miller Building in Morgantown, it's time for the state's most listened to sports talk show. This is the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. CityNet, cybersecurity experts for the digital age. And now, across the state of West Virginia and beyond, Sportsline is on the air.
Sportsline for Wednesday as we've reached the middle of the week, and we're coming closer to West Virginia's matchup with Stanford at the Crown tomorrow. We've got another busy show. We'll check in with Brad. He, of course, is with the Mountaineers. They just completed a practice out there, and they're returning for their late afternoon meal. And we'll hear from Brad coming up past the midway point of the show. We'll talk Mountaineer football. We've focused on the offense early in the week and the running backs specifically, and we'll hear from running backs coach Jay Boulware. And, of course, Mountaineers will meet the media again tomorrow, and they'll flip to the defensive side. So some defensive talk tomorrow and Friday. Greg Hunter is here. Good evening.
Good evening. I know you got a packed show for us.
Yeah.
Nothing busier than what's going on in Huntington.
That's right. Let's go there. Joe Brocato is covering this event for WVMetroNews.com. It is the Highlander Baseball Classic. And, Joe, is this the first time they've done this? I mean, there's a ton of games. It started Monday, goes all the way to Saturday.
This was done last year. It's been expanded this year to basically Monday to Saturday. Now, Marshall had a game against Ohio last night, so the Thundering Herd had the entire complex yesterday, but basically a number of games Monday and then 5 games a day all the way through Saturday with some JV games at Huntington High sprinkled in as well.
All right, so you've seen some good games today. The first one, not a really good game, but interesting in that Ripley, the defending AAA champ who had struggled a little bit early on in the preseason, they're dealing with a key injury. Ripley snaps a losing streak and hands Spring Valley a loss. 13-0 was the score there.
13-0 in 6 innings was the final, and as you said, Ripley came in with just a 2-3 record, and you mentioned the notable injury that they're dealing with in Bryson Casto, the WVU junior commit, who has not played in about a week, should be back in the lineup in relatively short order, but was not in the lineup today. But Ripley able to jump on the scoreboard early and often in a 13-0 victory over a Spring Valley team that came in with a 5-0 record.
So we're far enough into the season, it's no longer the openers for these teams, so you should start to get a feel for everybody. What are these games that are going to take place in Huntington and are really going to sort of be ones that are going to tell us what this whole state is like?
Yeah, and a lot of the teams, Greg, that come in and play in this tournament from great distance, they're going to get 2 or 3 games before they head out of town. Morgantown will get 3, Bridgeport will get 3, and a lot of teams will be able to get multiple games in. So I think these tournaments, like we've seen in basketball at the tournament that's always held at West Virginia State University, these tournaments are pretty popular because they're well run. The games run on time for the most part, and teams like the opportunity to travel and get multiple games in. So now that we're at about the 2-week point in the regular season, you do kind of get a little bit of a better sense of what teams have and what teams we should be keeping an eye on for the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm. We mentioned Ripley winning today. There was a couple of one-run games. Point Pleasant beat Herbert Hoover 2-1. And a game that ended recently, Morgantown blanks Cabell Midland 1-0, and it was Morgantown. It was their junior pitcher, right, Maddox Boggs, who pitched in the state championship game a year ago, who kind of twirled a gym today.
Pitched very well, allowed just 2 hits and a 2-hit shutout, struck out 6 batters for the Mohegans, and for the most part, he was able to keep a Cabell Midland lineup off the base paths and give a ton of credit to his counterpart in Owen Maynard as well for Cabell Midland. He struck out 7 batters, went the distance as well, but it was a 1-0 victory for Morgantown as they improved to 6-0 on the season. And the other game that you mentioned, very good pitchers duel between Point Pleasant and Herbert Hoover, a game that went 8 innings, in which Point Pleasant won by the final of 2-1. Anthony Marrero went the distance for the Big Blacks, and they're looking for their second victory of the day right now. They are trailing St. Albans 2-1 in the 6th inning, but they have a pair of runners on base as we speak to you in the top of the 6th.
What other games intrigue you either tonight or in the next day or two?
One more game to come tonight. St. Joseph's takes on Ward County, but the 9 o'clock game tomorrow, Greg, I think should be an interesting one. It's a rematch of last year's Class Quad A state championship game. Hurricane High School is off to a very good start this season. As usual, they're going to be taking on Morgantown. Also, Bridgeport and Cabell Midland follow that up as well. So we're looking at a couple of very interesting games for tomorrow and for the rest of the weekend in the tournament. And as we speak, Point Pleasant has just tied things up at 2.
All right, 2-2 Point Pleasant, St. Albans. Joe, we're getting crushed with rain up here. We had a significant downpour on my way in, and there's severe thunderstorm warnings for Monongalia and Marion and Harrison County. How's the weather been down there?
Well, we've had all 4 seasons in one day, which is not totally unexpected. A little bouts of wind and cold. We had in the first game a couple of brief weather delays, and they played through some showers. But fortunately, there's many places here at Jack Cook Field where fans can take cover from the elements and still get good vantage points at the game. So the games, for the most part, have been on schedule, except for the opening game in which we had the 2 brief delays.
All right, no thunderstorms, so that's good. Okay, Joe, we appreciate it, and look for Joe's work at WVMetroNews.com covering all of these games today. Thanks for your time.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
Joe Brocato, that is the Highlander Classic at Marshall University Stadium, Jack Cook Field. So a couple of well-played pitchers duels today. Point Pleasant beat Herbert Hoover 2-1. Morgantown beat Cabell Midland 1-0. Ripley over Spring Valley 13-0. By the way, the first Metro News baseball poll will have baseball and softball polls again for the spring. The softball poll is a coach's poll, so you've got people who actually know what they're talking about voting. The baseball
Not media guys, huh?
Yeah, baseball poll is going to be media guys. But all the areas in the state, including the Eastern Panhandle, and they're going to be represented in the poll. And the first high school baseball poll will come out on Monday, I believe, Monday. So your defending champs in high school baseball, Hurricane in 4A, Ripley, as we mentioned, in AAA, Wheeling Central in AA, and East Hardy in Single A. So spring sports underway.
Oh, boy, that time of year. We'll run through this spring real quick, and before you know it, Kyle, you'll be down in the Kanawha Valley again doing lengthy softball and baseball state tournaments.
Yeah, softball state tournaments broken up this year. It was all three classes going at the same time. So now they've expanded to 4 classes, and they've expanded to 8 teams per class. So they've broken that up. They'll play out 2 classes, take a break, play out 2 classes. And then, of course, the baseball tournament has been expanded to 8 teams per class, and it's scheduled to take 8 days. So, and that's without weather. Scheduled to start on a Saturday, take Sunday off, and then play Monday through Saturday. So those will be in back-to-back weeks, the 2 softball tournaments in baseball.
That'll keep you guys busy. A lot of people. Boy, the event organizers, this tournament in Huntington itself is, that's a full-time job. And obviously what they're going to be doing for the state tournaments once they get to that will be incredibly busy times as well.
And by the way, the state baseball tournament has moved to Jack Cook Field at Marshall University. So that's a change after decades in Charleston between Watt Powell Park and Gomard Ballpark, the many iterations of Gomard Ballpark. So that's a change there. The state baseball finals headed for Huntington this year. But that tournament going on, as Joe mentioned, 5 games today, tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. So you can check that out if you are in the area. We'll take a break. We'll talk a little football. And I know listeners, or any sort of information they can get, any little nugget they can get on Mountaineer football, because it's locked down.
Yeah, it is. I mean, media-wise, we haven't had an opportunity to watch anything in practice yet. Had a number of opportunities for interviews, including the one we just had the other day, and we'll hear from Jay Boulware, the new running backs coach. But yeah, haven't had an opportunity to see. Public will get their first opportunity to see Mountaineers later this month during what they now call the Spring Festival. But I think, like all of us, there's so much intrigue around every position because there's so many newcomers, and we just want to start by putting names with faces a little bit.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll talk football when we return. We welcome the text 304 Talk 304. This is the CityNet statewide sports line, and running a small business is hard enough. Dealing with tech problems shouldn't be part of the job. CityNet helps West Virginia businesses keep their technology running smoothly, whether you need full tech support or just extra help for a small IT team. From security and backups to day-to-day support, CityNet's local experts have you covered. Call today, 1-844-CityNet.
Boating season is almost here, and there's no better place to start your family's adventure than Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Family owned for over 40 years, Lou and his sons are West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer and true experts in boats, motors, and repairs. Explore their impressive inventory and score some of the best deals of the season right now. At Lou Wendell Marine Sales, they don't just sell boats, they sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com and get on the water in style. After all, the weekend's almost here.
Golf Week called Pete Dye Golf Club one of America's best modern courses. Golf Digest recently called Pete Dye one of America's 100 greatest courses, and Pete Dye calls it 18 of the most exciting and memorable holes I've ever built on one course. Pete Dye Golf Club invites you to join the only course named after the legendary designer himself. National, corporate, and local memberships available now for a limited time. Visit PeteDye.com to learn more. Come play where the Mountaineers play at Pete Dye Golf Club.
If a fire occurred in your home, would your smoke alarms work? Don't wait for a tragedy to find out. Smoke alarms are designed to give you and your family the precious seconds you need to safely escape. Test your smoke alarms every month by pressing the test button until the alarm sounds. Depending on the type of battery in your smoke alarm, you may need to change the batteries at least once a year or whenever the low battery warning chirps, and never remove the batteries for any reason. Remember, having working smoke alarms is not only a good idea, it's the law. A message from the West Virginia State Fire Marshal's Office.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
With Metro News Hotline, if it's trending, it's probably here.
And then the other thing, his last name is one of those weird Norwegian names where they have two vowels that slam into each other. It's like the A and the E are like cemented into each other.
You're like the 12th Dave that works here. What do you think people from Norwegian think about that?
That is fair.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
Sportsline for a Wednesday. We switched things up a little bit. Brad's back from practice, so we're going to go to Las Vegas. You've got Kyle and Greg in Morgantown. Brad joins us from Las Vegas post-practice. And, Brad, good evening or good afternoon in your situation. What is it, 3:30 out there?
Hello, boys.
Hello.
Good afternoon, good evening. Yeah, 3:20 in the afternoon, West Coast time here. And I'll tell you what, guys, this is Chamber of Commerce weather out here in Vegas. It is 73 degrees. The sun is out, a light little breeze, and we just wrapped up what was a really spirited, a surprisingly intense, really good practice for the fellas, and we just got back to the hotel.
You know, I'm thinking about this, Brad. This game, and we talked to Troy Clarity, the Stanford play-by-play guy, and, of course, he pumped up his team, and in particular, Okori, the season tease. This may be the best game of this tournament tomorrow night, West Virginia and Stanford.
I think it's part of why you have these teams matched up. They're very, very similar in a lot of ways. The analytics lineup, as we talked about, Kyle, earlier in the week, right next to each other, and the KenPom ratings only 1 point, right on top of each other in terms of the rankings. And, yeah, Okori is wonderful, and it's just another in the long list of talented freshmen we've seen in college basketball this year. This guy may be the best that you haven't heard about or talked about up until this week. He is lights out. The more film I've been watching on him, this is going to be a real challenge for West Virginia defensively. But, yeah, this is a team that, just like West Virginia, was right on that bubble, one of the last 8 teams out of the NCAA tournament. So they have a lot of pieces that they really like. It's similar styles. Okori has great shot-making ability individually. So does West Virginia with Honor Huff. They've got some talented bigs. West Virginia's got some guys that when they're playing well, their bigs are producing. So I'm with you. I don't think it's a coincidence that these teams are matched up. I think when the tournament put this field together, they looked at 2 of the better teams and certainly the two best on this side of the bracket and put them together for a made-for-TV matchup in this one.
So, Brad, stick with the Corey for a little bit. We know from West Virginia's defensive side that Jasper Floyd is a very good defensive guard, but they've been able to substitute him out in the past with Amir Jenkins, who's done a nice job in that area as well. But obviously Amir is hurt, not available for this one. So how do you defend a Corey if you're the Mountaineers and you're down to Jasper as your main defender in the backcourt?
Sounds like Ocean's 11 just robbed the bank again.
Yeah, so I was going to say, sorry about the sirens rolling through here, so they seem to be out of the way here. Yeah, Greg, it's a great question, and I think it'll go a long way to determining the winner. And yes, so it's one of those where, as I just mentioned, it's not like we haven't seen matchups with great guards nearly every night in the Big 12. You're getting another one. Jasper's going to be the primary defender. He's been as good as there is in this entire league in on-ball defense this season. You're going to need another great effort. But yes, with no Amir coming in off the bench to either spell him or give him a break when there's some foul trouble or just protect him from getting in foul trouble, that creates some lineup shuffling. I think what you're going to see is Mo Ugasu get some more playing time in this game. He's been very good defensively in spot duty this year. He's had a great last week and a half of practice. So I think he's going to be an important component, maybe on both ends, guys. When I get back, this might be one of those guys we're talking about. After West Virginia wins a couple games in this tournament, I have a feeling if they do that, we'll be talking about Mo Ugasu playing some big, significant minutes for this West Virginia team. But I have a feeling he's your second defender in on a Corey. But listen, make no mistake, just like it was against Darren Peterson or A.J. DeBonsa, or just go down the list of talented playmakers, this is a full team effort. When they run the pick and roll, which they do a lot, this is going to be on Harlan Obioha, as he has done most of this year, to fill that gap and then drop back on their bigs. You're going to need Belo gapping that lane and Chance Moore. So it's Jasper out front, keeping the ball in front of him, but then it's going to be a team effort filling these gaps because Corey likes to get downhill and get to the rim.
They've had some big players emerge. They lost one of their best players. In fact, their second leading scorer, Chisholm Okpara, went down an injury at Virginia about midway through the season, and then that sent them into a tailspin, Brad. They lost like 5 in a row, and that's basically what cost them an NCAA tournament berth, that stretch. But talk about some of the guys that kind of emerged since Okpara has gone out. He was averaging almost 14 points per game.
Yeah, you're right. That is a hit for them. I think in his absence, Gieler, the guard, has stepped up significantly. And that's where part of this game will be decided. There'll be some significant three-point variance in this. We know if West Virginia can get up into that 8, 9, and if they can get double digits, you're feeling really good. So variance on the West Virginia side. And on the other side for Stanford, they'll pull it from anywhere. Gieler in particular, he'll come across half court and be ready to fire three. So you're watching that variance again, and then what's always the companion piece to a team that likes to shoot from distance, now you got to get on the glass. And they still have some size inside, guys that they're not necessarily going to look for big points, but certainly on the glass. And can West Virginia limit Stanford to the one shot and then get out the other way? So I think that's important. But the two guards for Stanford, Corey and Gieler, are the guys to keep an eye on from an offensive perspective, first and foremost.
So, Brad, this tournament actually starts tonight. 2 games this evening there in Las Vegas. And as you handicap this field, you mentioned West Virginia and Stanford maybe as good as anybody in the field, though on paper, Oklahoma probably right up there with those two. Is that fair? Is that you think it's probably a 3-team race in this thing?
Yeah, and you always hesitate to say that, Greg, necessarily because you just don't know how each team's going to come out and perform from an effort standpoint. That's first and foremost. But in terms of the metrics, yes, Oklahoma would be the favorite in this tournament as they come in somewhere in the 40s if you look at their net and KenPom rankings. So, yeah, that's the team, and they and Baylor on the other side are the two you're going to watch. I spent some time last night with John Morris, Baylor's play-by-play voice, and he was thrilled. He said they've got all their guys, and they seem engaged and ready to play. And so that means Cameron Carr and Tunde Yesufu are going to play for Baylor, so that's 2 NBA-type guys on their team. So they could present some problems for others. But I think that's your teams you're looking at on paper. And then again, you get into this and let's see how it goes and how teams react. And if you get down, are you willing to dig in and come back? So as we know in these postseason tournaments, especially when you get down to this, guys, there's just not a lot of teams left playing basketball. Mm-hmm. So how engaged do you want to be in play? And that's why I'm anxious to watch this West Virginia team. You can't go solely off practice, but we just walked out of one of the more intense and physical practices I've seen from this team all season. They went after it, and they were competitive, and they were wolfing at each other, and it certainly didn't look like a team that's down to its final couple of practices. This looked like a team that if you told me it was October 15th and guys were looking for playing time, that's what this practice just felt like. So we'll see if that translates onto the game action tomorrow.
And this tournament's a little bit different in that the games tonight and the games tomorrow are in a different arena than the semifinal and final games.
Yeah, it's wild. MGM Grand Garden Arena is going to host our first games tomorrow. And, Kyle, you're a sports historian. You just got to appreciate the history in that building.
Yeah.
From Manny Pacquiao fights to Mike Tyson fights to major concerts. I mean, you're in one of the great venues in terms of history. Muhammad Ali, just all kinds of things that have gone on in that building. So that'll be fun to see. And then if you're lucky enough to win and move on, you will head over to T-Mobile Center, which is you can see right from my hotel room, right down the street from us where the Vegas Golden Knights play, and we'll head over there for the last couple if you can keep playing.
So for West Virginia, practice tonight, do you get a shoot-around in the arena that they're going to play in tomorrow? What's the logistics for the next 24 hours?
Yes, we shot around in the MGM last night when we got here right after we arrived. We went straight over there. Practice today at a gym just outside of the Strip area here in Las Vegas. And then tomorrow, the teams that are playing tomorrow will go back in. And, yes, we'll have another shoot-around at the MGM building. And then we'll tip off at 5 o'clock local time, 8 o'clock your time.
Well, very good. We'll check in with you again tomorrow if that's okay, either live or Memorex, one way or the other.
Yeah. Yes, let's talk in the morning, Kyle. We'll get that set up, and hopefully I can talk to you the next couple of nights, and we'll keep this season going for a couple more days.
All right, very good. Brad, enjoy yourself. Enjoy the weather, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, thanks, boys.
Brad Howe there in Vegas. Sounded like he was on the move.
Yep.
Can't be late for dinner.
No, can't be late at all. On the Strip, everybody, isn't that it? Everybody moving on the Strip somewhere, you up and down, looking at people, looking at everything. So Brad, Tony, and the crew certainly, hopefully get their opportunity to spend some time out in Vegas.
Yeah, we'll check in with them tomorrow, check in with Brad, and at this point it will be about an hour and a half from game time when we have him on tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time, West Virginia against Stanford. And again, looking at some of the numbers with this freshman guard, Ibuka Okori, it really is amazing. He's leading the ACC, leading scorer in the ACC this year. He is averaging just under 23 points per game. He's 8th national in scoring among freshmen, only behind DeBansta, who we know all about, and Darius Acuff of Arkansas. And again, led the ACC in scoring at 22.5 points per game. He broke the Stanford freshman scoring record 3 times. He scored 32 against Colorado, had 36 against North Carolina, then scored 40 against Georgia Tech. He was the first Stanford player to score 40 or more since Casey Jacobson in 2002. He scored 30 plus 7 times, and that's tied for the most of any freshman in ACC history. He tied Marvin Bagley for 7 30-point games as a freshman, and down the stretch, 25.8 points, 4.5 assists over the last contest, and he's shooting 50% from 3 during that stretch. 54% from the field, 50% from 3, 87% from the foul line in the last 9 games, averaging almost 26 points per game.
Well, you mentioned it last night. I mean, West Virginia's seen so many of these outstanding freshmen this year, from DeBansta to Darren Peterson to all the guys at Arizona. But all those guys, in Acuff at Arkansas, were top 10 freshmen in the class of 2025. Everyone expected them to be great, and they were. But Okori wasn't in the top 100 in the recruiting list that you were perusing.
Right. I looked at 2. He was not in the top 100 among freshmen.
So it just tells you, I mean, sometimes the talent stands out early. Recruiting lists get it right, but sometimes there's a guy who does pop in out of nowhere. And Okori has been that guy this year, and he's certainly going to be the key for West Virginia trying to slow him down tomorrow.
And Troy Clarity told us last night he sat and watched didn't broadcast it, but sat and watched the preseason scrimmage, and it was like it was jaw-dropping. Like they knew immediately what they had. Obviously, the coaches probably did from the beginning.
Yeah.
But
we've gone over his history. I mean, played at a really good prep school in New Hampshire at Brewster. West Virginia's gotten guys from Brewster too over the years, but wasn't a high recruit. I mean, he said top 100. He committed to Harvard. Now, I mean, nothing against Harvard. That's obviously a great place to attend college, but not exactly a Power 4 basketball program. But had a solid senior year, and all of a sudden Stanford, comes in and goes, hey, you know what? Why don't you change your commitment? He ends up at Stanford and goes from an Ivy League player to one of the best freshmen in the country.
304 Talk 304, that's the number to call. First text right off the bat asking if there were any April Fool's Day related things out there about WVU. I didn't hear anything. Did you? You're more on social media.
Yeah, I saw a little bit. They were so lame, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, something about naming Mountaineer Field Dollar General Field, and I found that pretty weak. For the most part.
That's funny. That makes me laugh.
Yeah, and nothing of major note that got me. And I remember it. What was the Sports Illustrated picture?
Sid Finch.
Yeah, that's the one that got me.
That's the greatest April Fool's gag of all time.
Yeah.
That was George Plimpton.
Yes.
There's a text question for you. What are the best April Fool's sports-related gags you've ever heard? Sid Finch was the greatest April Fool's gag of all time.
Back at
cover of Sports Illustrated.
Yeah, and at a time pre-social media that could get out there and you didn't realize it was an April Fool's joke. And you could get a magazine in the mail and to people, and I read that because I just gobbled up Sports Illustrated.
He was
back
a
in the day.
Dinka tribesman that played the French horn, I think.
Yeah.
And had like size 28 feet and threw the ball 113 or 115 miles per hour.
Yeah. I hook, line, sinker until later that night, and talking to some friends, they go, you realize that was an April Fool's joke, and I felt like a fool.
Well, I remember, I think I kept the magazine. I've got it somewhere. But he was on the cover, and there was a shot of him from the back throwing from the pitcher's mound with these great big boots on. And I don't remember exactly what it was, but the text at the top above the Sports Illustrated, if the first letter of every word spelled out Happy April Fool's Day. I'll have to look that up.
Right by me. Very, very good. You couldn't get anything like that over on people.
The one I have to admit, one time Dan Patrick got me. We were driving somewhere. It was on a long drive because we had the show on for at least an hour. And Dan Patrick had Pete Rose, and this was 15 or 20 years ago, at least 15. And Dan Patrick had Pete Rose reinstated and was set to take a baseball managerial job like immediately. And he played that for the entire hour, and he had the baseball quote unquote experts on to talk about it. I mean, everybody bought in. And then at the very end of the hour, he said, "Everybody realize what day it is?" And then he brought Pete Rose on the show to discuss why he should be reinstated. But that one got me. Dan Patrick got me because again, he had Kirkjian or whoever the top baseball experts of the day were on, and they were with the gag. They played along with it. It had everybody convinced that Pete Rose was A, going to be reinstated, and B, was going to get a managerial job for the season. So that was those are the two best.
When you can get fooled on a baseball story, that tells me
that
something.
one got me. 304 Talk 304. That is the text line. What are some other good sports April Fools gags that had you fooled? We'll take a break. We'll talk Mountaineer football when we return. Stay with us.
Diabetes is the most common endocrine disease in the U.S., and WVU Medicine endocrinologists offer comprehensive care for this chronic disease. We also treat parathyroid, pituitary, thyroid, reproductive, and adrenal gland conditions. Trust WVU Medicine's fellowship-trained and board-certified endocrinologists to provide world-class care for all endocrine disorders. Call 855-WVU-CARE or visit wvumedicine.org/endocrinology.
If you have a child who's a junior in high school in West Virginia or know someone that does, please listen up. Here's your opportunity to win a full scholarship from West Virginia Wesleyan College that includes room, board, tuition, and fees. The 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program is presented by ZMM Architects and Engineers and the West Virginia Farm Bureau. The deadline is May 3rd. For details, go to WVMetroNews.com to apply. That's WVMetroNews.com. Remember, application deadline is May 3rd.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
There's often an assumption that my nasal congestion, my sneezing, my runny nose, these are just things that I have to live with. A lot of times patients will tell me, I've tried every allergy medication, every nasal spray, I've done it all, doc. And then I'll frequently say, what about this? You need to come to the WVU Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center. If those things haven't worked, there are new options, new treatments. There's probably something we can do to help. You don't just have to live with those symptoms.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown! You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Sportsline for Wednesday. Kyle and Greg, thanks for joining us. We got off the track here. We are going to talk football, but I found the cover, the Sports Illustrated cover with Sid Finch, and here's the text. He's a pitcher, part yogi, part recluse, impressively liberated from our opulent lifestyle. Sid's deciding about yoga, and if you take the first letter of every one of those words, it spells out Happy April Fool's Day. And then it does continue. He's deciding about yoga and his future in baseball. But up through yoga, if you take the first letter of each word, it's Happy April Fool's. They got you, huh?
Y'all got me. Writing that part of the text and spelling out may be the most impressive thing of all. As a person who writes a great deal, I can't imagine being able to do that.
George Plimpton was the great. He wrote Paper Lion. That was
I read that.
Great movie and a great book.
He did that a couple times, and when he personalized it and sort of played a professional sport, he was a goalie for somebody too.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, so that was a great story, and I'm sure there are others, and we'll probably get some text on some others that people remember.
Get into some football talk. Jay Boulware. The background on him coming into this program as a Mountaineer running backs coach.
Interesting story. He was an offensive lineman at Texas and a really good recruit coming out, but developed some health issues and had to retire from football. So coaches at Texas were so impressed. They say, hey, you ever thought about coaching? Why don't you come over, student assistant to graduate assistant to running backs coach, and I think he did some work as tight end. So sort of an odd conversion, though he took offense that an offensive lineman can eventually coach running backs, but eventually coaches running backs and has been in a number of high-profile programs, and now is at West Virginia coaching a position, has a lot of newcomers.
Yeah.
So with a guy like Cam Cook, who led Division I in rushing last year, somebody who has proven ability.
Let's start there. New room for the Mountaineer running back group led by new coach Jay Boulware.
Cam has a little bit, having been with the Trickets. But, yeah, I mean, it's a completely new room. I enjoy that too. We kind of learned it all together, you know what I mean? Took it step by step. There was no, this is what we did last year. This is what, everything was, hey, this is what I know, so this is what you guys are going to know. So everything was fresh, and the guys have taken to that approach pretty well. And in my mind, they've done a great job of assignment football. That's the easy part. Assignment football is the easy part. It's not what we get paid to do. We as coaches got to be great teachers and teachers of the fundamentals. Anybody can put stuff on the board and say, here's what you do. They should be doing that themselves. You go to the NFL, they give you an iPad and they tell you to learn the offense and come in the next day. But that's not coaching. Coaching is teaching these young men the fundamentals and techniques that go along with those assignments.
So Jay Boulware there, part of this philosophy, talking about a new group of running backs, and he expounded on, obviously, the leader of the room this year, Cam Cook.
And at this level, which is more than everybody else in the room can say. So, he's our experienced guy. He's our veteran. I can tell him something one time, and he pretty much gets it. So that in itself is leadership. The other guys see that, oh, okay, Cam's picking this up, and then they try to do it. So, having Cam in the room is a tremendous blessing. Glad I went out and got him a lot. It really pays off right now because everybody else in that room is new. So that's the challenge.
What's he do best, in your opinion?
He does everything well. Yeah, he
press
really
blocks,
does.
the whole.
He does everything well.
Yeah.
He's got great patience in the run game, great vision. He can catch the ball. He can block. He can do it all. And so his versatility is definitely in Coach Rod's offense has been a nice added dimension.
So Cam Cook, the undisputed leader and starter there. What about freshman Amari Latimer?
I love what Latimer's bringing to the table. He is conducting himself like a veteran, having an older brother that's played collegiate football, obviously played for Coach Rod at Jacksonville State as well. He is showing him how to be a pro, and in everything that he does. I'm not saying he's perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but he's definitely conducting himself like a veteran. From the work that he does in the training room. I go check on our guys in the training room in the mornings, and he's not even injured, and he's in there doing, stuff to make sure he stays healthy. So that's a veteran approach. He's here at night watching film. That's a veteran approach, and so that's really good to see from a freshman. You don't see that very often. I've had maybe one other true freshman in all my years of coaching running backs, which is a lot, conduct themselves that way and be as well-rounded as he is. And I'm pretty pleased with him right now and what he's bringing to the table.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, very much so. Bigger back, while Cook is in the 205-pound range. Latimer's 225, 230. He's a big back, was a really good linebacker, too, in high school. So he's got that physical attribute that goes with being a big, strong, powerful back, and something that certainly West Virginia could badly need. But it's that versatility. You listen to Rich over the many years versatility of his running backs. And, he's not unique with that, but ability to catch the football some, got to be able to block, obviously run the ball and understand how the running scheme works with inside zone and outside zone, which they stretch and stress, and then, the option part of the game. It takes a lot for your running backs. It's not, God bless Vince Lombardi, but it's not just run to daylight. You got to understand all aspects of it.
A little bit more on Coach Boulware. He talks about, and he's 29-year coaching veteran, been around at multiple levels, and he talks about him personally, how he fits in as a veteran coach for this particular running back group and the offensive line.
I can't speak for Coach Rod, but I think one of the reasons why he wanted a veteran in this position is so that cohesiveness would be would transition really easily. He didn't want to have to worry about the running backs, the O-line. I understand what Coach Trickett is doing because I played that position, and our offices are right next to each other. So anytime he wants to share a thought or an idea with me, just, hey, stick your head over here real quick, and I'd get up and run over there because, there's a respect game from me. He's a legendary O-line coach. I understand that, being a former O-lineman. Sometimes I actually kind of jump when he's yelling because I feel like it's my old O-line coach getting on my tail a little bit. But I enjoy. I think it's a privilege to be out there with a guy like that and putting this thing together and trying to do some of the things that we're trying to do offensively from a run game perspective as well as a protection perspective. So it's pretty easy for us that way. I know what he's doing. I've played in a lot of offenses, different styles, whether it be the Gus Malzahn offense of Auburn or Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma. You know what I mean? I've had a lot of different offenses that I've been a part of, and so there's not much out there that I haven't done already and done at a high level.
So there's your new running backs coach, Jay Boulware.
Yeah, great interview, and it's certainly very nice to be able to talk to him. First time to interview him in his first season at West Virginia. But I do think what he was saying there at the end is important because, Rich's style can be unique, but he's coached in so many offenses. He's done similar type of things. So he's not having to learn all the system without having some experience in it, and thus can impart onto his players.
Texter asks a wide receiver question. How does the receiver, the transfer from USC, Prince Stram, how does he look like? Where does he fit?
He's a big kid, 6'5", 210 pounds. So far, again, you got to preface it by saying we haven't had an opportunity to see them. But the coaches have all talked highly about how he's performed to this point. Didn't get much chance at USC because of injury. So only played in one game for the Trojans. Had a really nice start to his college career at Boise State, though, the 2 years before that. But I think they believe he is a big, deep threat, can go up and catch the football. They've got a few wide receivers that have some height, which they didn't have a ton of last year. But I think they believe he's certainly the tallest of those, and he's one that can go up and get it. But you add him with the Jaden Bray. You got a couple of bigger receivers out there that they feel can stretch the football field.
To the text line when we return, 304-TALK-304. This is the CityNet statewide sports line from the Health Plan Studios since 1979. The Health Plan has called West Virginia home from humble beginnings. They've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming a part of its fabric. For over 4 decades, they've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses, proudly serving West Virginia for over 40 years. The Health Plan.
Some relationships just work better with trust, reliability, and great communication. That's why more West Virginians are choosing CityNet Gig Fiber. Fast, symmetrical speeds, no contracts, no data caps, and local teams monitoring the network around the clock. Plus, for a limited time, new residential customers can get 50% off any internet plan for a full year, with plans starting as low as $25 a month. Check availability at your address. Visit citynet.net today. CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
We are there for you, to care for you at the Health Plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The Health Plan, we are here for you.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Stay connected to what's happening today in West Virginia.
What about this and what about that? And it just went back and forth. And I was just the guy reading the text. Okay, so what's your take on the whole thing?
Well, now you just get me fired up. Now
Right.
you just
So
get
I'm
me
gonna
going.
turn on. I'm gonna run down to Wendy's and grab a burger, and I'll be back.
Join Dave Allen weekdays for midday on Metro News Television.
Talk 304 on the Sportsline. Final few minutes. Coach Hunter, we forgot about the classic Marcellus Shale.
That was one of Tony's best.
Yes, that may have been Tony's best. April Fool's joke. We were reminded about that deal, the Marcellus Shale basketball commit. That was a classic. Texter says, had to leave the show to watch a successful and extremely impressive launch of the next lunar mission. I'm sure there's a West Virginia connection. I could see that. If we probably should have had it on.
Yeah, we should have. I thought of that midway. Would have loved to have seen that live, but I don't remember the original 69. I was alive, but I don't remember watching it. I'm sure my parents did. I probably did, but a little before my memory.
Yeah, I was very, very young as well, 1 year old or less. I was laughing out loud because a texter says the best April Fool's joke ever was Tavita Finau.
Well, unfortunately, that wasn't just a joke. That was real.
Of course, he misspelled it, but I get the point. Completely get the point. 304 Talk 304. I think that's it. Let's see. That kind of runs the gamut there for the text. But again, we've been loaded up with content this week. I'm sorry about that. There just haven't been many openings for text. We did have a lot of baseball today, and Paul Skeens bounced back. Of course, didn't make it out of the first inning in his season opening start. A lot of that was due to O'Neal Cruz misplaying a couple of fly balls that were ruled hits. But Skeens in his second start went 5 innings, allowed 1 run, 3 hits, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks against the Reds, and the Pirates won that game by a final of 8-3. Speaking of O'Neal Cruz, he hit a long home run, a 400-plus foot home run, and it was a 3-run shot in the first. That set the tone, and the Pirates went on to beat the Reds by a final of 8-3.
What about the West Virginia Cardinals?
Yeah, the West Virginia Cardinals won today. They took 2 of 3 from the Mets, and Vic and JJ were both in the lineup. They've started every game. It was 2-1 in 11 innings, and JJ did get a hit. He was 1 for 5. Vic went 0 for 4. It was set up for him in the 10th with the extra runner on. The leadoff hitter in that inning struck out, and then Vic hit a ground ball, moved the runner to third with 2 outs, and it was set up for JJ to get his second walk-off hit, but he rolled over on a splitter and grounded out to the right side of the infield. Now, he was the Manfred man on second to start the 11th and scored the winning run. So mixed results today for the West Virginia contingent with the Cardinals. JJ 1 for 2 with 2 runs scored, and Vic was 0 for 4. Vic's still hitting .350. JJ's hitting .280. Those are the only 2 former Mountaineers in the big leagues right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Because there are a bunch of them that have sort of bounced around in past years.
There's a couple of guys. Cade Stroud's at AAA with Arizona. He got traded there. He went in the Blaze Alexander deal. So he's at AAA with Arizona, and Ryan Burgert is at AAA with the Royals. Michael Grove was a free agent. His contract ran out with the Dodgers, and as far as I know, didn't sign. And John Means signed with Kansas City over the winter and then immediately blew out his Achilles.
He's had
like
so
in
many
December.
injury
Yeah.
problems.
So
Where is Alek
he's out for the
Manoah
year.
right
Manoah's with the Angels, trying to work his way back up.
Okay.
So right now, JJ and Vic are the only former Mountaineers in the big leagues, with Cade Stroud and Burgert at AAA. Means hurt, out for the year. Manoah trying to work his way back with the Angels, and Grove is still out there as a free agent, as far as I know. So that's it. Who would have thought St. Louis Cardinals, West Virginia's team?
Boy, they got two close connections, and we'll follow them throughout the year. Hopefully
No doubt.
they continue to do as well as they have so far.
Greg will go to football tomorrow. Brad's in Vegas, so I'll be here alone. I'll be in the studio alone, but in spirit, Greg and Brad will both be with us. So join us again tomorrow night for the Sportsline.
From the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline is an exclusive production of the Metro News Radio Network. All rights reserved.